Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well that you can download our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot and Media. Some residents in Anchovy Gardens, Portland are blaming the National Water Commission NWC for increased flooding in the area. The parish has been experiencing heavy rains for the past few days, but residents say flooding was preventable. They are now appealing to the relevant authorities to fix the problem. Details from TVJ's Gleaner Pearson.
This is a section of the Anchovy Garden Main Road in Portland. Several homes were also affected by sand and flood waters. On Sunday, a tractor was seen removing materials which residents say is residue from the Vinci project.
When the tree them cut down, them block up the tree and the sandbag them, they leave the sandbag them in the tree and when they leave the sandbag and the tree them in the tree, it back up the water. My neighbor, whenever get she never get flood out in her history. Her house flood out, enough of our house flood out just because of the packages and this. What we tell them say, enough of them fault at NWC, which are them dig up the road if you understand.
Whether it's too much rain fall in the last 48 hours or the drainage system, which seems to be a part of the problem, but there's extensive flooding. Right where we are standing now, 2 hours ago was knee-high water. Now it is receding, but a lot of engineering work will have to be done immediately after this water subsides, because it is going to happen again if action is not taken immediately.
In addition to cleaning the drains, Member of Parliament for East Portland, Linval Bloomfield, made this suggestion.
What I think at some later date, the works agency might have to consider putting a small bridge here and allowing the water to run across freely.
For other residents, flooding was not a major challenge. It's the aftermath, which includes breakaways. One resident is seeking urgent help as the house which he occupies can collapse anytime due to the open cracks underneath and around his house.
I know we never live nowhere, so right now we want to look at help, we kind of try to fix up a place and get somewhere to fix up and support, you know? So now can't work again.
If they make you offer to relocate, would you accept it?
Of course. Yeah. Better than that, because we can't live like that. Everybody have to live on them.
Some sections of the West Street Main Road were also seen collapsing, and the residents are again calling for help before matters get worse. Gleaner Pearson, TVJ News.
And some communities in St. Mary also experienced flooding. Our reporter Janella Pursues visited some communities.
Getting past the junction proved to be a little problematic for our news team as we encountered several roadblocks caused by landslides. So earlier in areas like Castles and Gardens, the traffic was reduced to one lane. We also observed crews from the National Works Agency in Junction. The work was hampered due to heavy rainfall. Now, on the issue of rainfall, residents we spoke to say it has been non-stop for the past 4 days. Many are on edge, particularly at night, fearing not only landslides but falling boulders. Also, today should have been the first day back at school for the new school term, but attendance at some of these institutions have been low. Now, we continue to make our way to Enfield and Fort George in St. Mary, two of the worst affected communities. Reporting from St. Mary, I am Janella Presley.
And the government is bracing for another multi-million-dollar repair bill following the heavy rains which pelted eastern and northern parishes. Heavy showers triggered by a cold front caused extensive flooding in St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland and Trelawney. Several main roads and bridges have been damaged. The National Works Agency NWA has cleared some of the blocked roads, and the Lime Hall Main Road in St. Anne has been reopened to single-lane traffic. NWA Communications Manager Stephen Shaw says the focus is now on St. Mary.
We are going to be giving attention to the junction where sections are still open to only single lane. We still have some areas in Portland that are impassable, to include the road to Cornwall Barracks and the road from Buff Bay to Whitehall. And so these areas will be getting priority attention. Additionally, we have a number of blocked drains that we want to have reopened. And of course, all of these activities will be subject to the weather being favorable for us to go into the areas and to have the activities done.
Meanwhile, Mr. Shaw says teams from the NWA have challenges in clearing some of the roads, as some areas are still experiencing rainfall and landslides. Motorists are therefore urged to proceed with extreme caution along roadways in St. Catherine, St. Anne, Portland, and St. Mary. In other news, a man is in custody following the seizure of more than 800 pounds of ganja in St. Thomas yesterday. 17 bags and 6 plastic buckets containing the compressed ganja were found on a boat in Holland Bay. The ganja has a street value of $2 million, and the police theorize it was being prepared for export to Haiti as part of the Guns for Drugs trade. 2 containers with 15 gallons of petrol were also seized. It's reported that the police were near the Morant Point lighthouse when 5 men were seen. 4 of them escaped. The police believe they were unable to leave Jamaica because of the poor weather conditions. Sergeant Damon Harry of the St. Thomas Police says the team will continue to target the drug smugglers. The St. Anne Municipal Corporation says it will be stepping up operations to clamp vehicles that are illegally parked in designated clamping zones in the town. Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, says the clamping down and illegally parked vehicles was introduced previously, however, it was not being enforced. He says other measures have been put in place to reduce traffic congestion within the town. These include traffic changes with some roads being made into one-ways. The mayor believes that the reintroduction of clamping and towing will bring a sense of order among motorists. Mr. Belnavis states that about the cost for motorists to get their vehicles.
There will be a $2,500 charge to remove the clamp. If the vehicles are not declamped by 7 p.m., a wrecker will remove the vehicle and carry it to the pound on Market Street, where they'll have to pay the wrecker fee. The $2,500 charge will remain.
The mayor also gave parking options to motorists.
Options are Brava Hill on Market Street, where there's a transportation center there where you can pay $100 per hour to park. The transportation center on Wharf Street will be upgraded to accommodate private parking, in addition to it being a transportation center, because right now it is totally underutilized. So we're going to be using that transportation center for additional parking. And of course, Brava Street, at the entrance of Brava Street, we're looking to see how we can incorporate that into additional parking for individuals.
Motorists who have purchased parking permits will be required to display tickets on the driver's side of their dashboard. Failure to do so could result in the vehicles being clamped. With the start of a new year comes changes, and that was the case for the Jamaica Gleaner, the oldest newspaper in the Western Hemisphere. Here's TVJ's Shane Masters with that report.
How long has it been since you've seen a Jamaican CEO doing business on the road? Well, it was a busy morning for Chief Executive Officer of the RJR Gleaner Communications Group, Gary Allen, on Oxford Road.
Want to tell you about the Gleaner. We have redesigned the paper as of today, Monday to Saturdays.
Speaking with TVJ News, Mr. Allen said the redesign is of vital importance not only to the Gleaner company, but also to its customers.
The Gleaner, as of today, is one where we have a much different look and feel to it. It's a digital look, bold pictures, more compact stories, but at the same time we haven't compromised on the journalism. It's still strong, credible journalism.
The group chairman also noted the rollback of cost for subscription of the online edition of The Gleaner. The Gleaner on January 2, 2014 introduced a subscription system which saw online users registering and paying for unlimited access to the Gleaner's flagship website, www.jamaicagleaner.com.
You're going to see the Gleaner continue to be that paper that takes on the big issues, make sure that we keep people accountable. We raise the questions that people want, more interaction, so public tells us things that they're interested in. You're going to see more of that being reflected in the paper.
As to the plans moving forward,
And if you're an online customer, you can read as much as you want of a credible product, because we don't believe that a credible product, you should be restricted if you can't afford to pay for it. So we're going to give you all that you want online to read from the paper as well.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And in sports, Jamaica's top-flight netball competition, the Berger Elite League, will resume with a full slate of matches on Tuesday as the 2018 fixture of games shoots off at the Leela Robinson courts. However, on Saturday, there was a rescheduled match between second-place Kingston Hummingbirds and fifth-place St. James Sharps. Here's Trishana McGowan.
Co-coach Margaret Anderson's team, Kingston Hummingbirds, came out of the holiday break in winning form after prevailing 51-47 against St. James Sharps to record their fourth win from 5 games. Former national player Sabrina Spence netted 38 goals from 46 attempts, while Shanice Beckford made 12 goals from 15 attempts for the Hummingbirds. With the win, the Kingston Hummingbirds have now moved to 12 points. But how are they feeling about their outcome?
The ladies came out a little bit off, but we worked through it. We knew that we had a team that would be victorious in the end.
I am pleased with some aspect of the game, and as our coaches keep telling us that our third quarter is the weakest quarter and we need to work on that, but we are struggling in that quarter still, but we will try our best in the next game to do better.
Meanwhile, the informed Simone Forbes registered 24 goals from 28 attempts, and Deneen Taylor was good on the day with 16 goals from 22 attempts for the Sharps. Despite a loss, St. James Sharps are looking ahead for better results as they will face St. Catherine Racers in their next encounter.
We didn't take care of the ball, and so we had a lot of unforced errors. But we are going to be working, to try, and we're still looking around at combinations because we have not been privy to a lot of training sessions. So we are going to be trying to work it out and to come for our next game a lot more focused.
We started out well tonight. I think probably a bit of fitness got the better of us. We were lacking that in that department, so we're just going to fix that aspect of it and come back, and we should play a better game come Tuesday.
On Tuesday, January 9, the competition will get into full swing to officially start the 2018 schedule. The curtain raiser game will feature 4th place St. Catherine Racers against 5th place St. James Sharps starting at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, former champions Clarendon Gators, who are 6th in the 6-team table, will look to get their first win against defending champions St. Anne Orchids. The Orchids currently occupies 3rd place. The other midweek games on Thursday will see league leaders Manchester Spurs against St. Catherine Racers and St. James Sharps versus Kingston Hummingbirds. Trishana McGowan, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.